So 3.5 minutes in, race leader Benjamin Morton will slide back here. There's the P2s. They are going to put on probably the best battle on the racetrack. Morton actually checking out, maybe using a bit more energy than some of the other cars here, because that's going to make a big difference here. The P2s are going to run as a big, massive crowd this entire night. May have had trouble for Mike Mccullen. We'll take a look and see what's going on there. Let's bring up the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Oh yeah, Mccullen. Big spin to the inside, hard into the inside wall, up and over. Barrels it down the back straightaway. He's able to get the car straightened out. But Mike Mccullen going to have to make the early stop. Gary Godso currently leading this class. Well, he's battling with Mark Chandler here at the front of the field. Godso and Chandler going to be side by side into turn number 3. Godso getting the push. Big run up the middle. Oh, man, that's tight. Both corner entry and corner exit can be a little bit bumpy. The transition can be a little bit rough, and sometimes that 2 and 3 wide stuff is not the smartest thing you could possibly do. Let's pick up the Corvettes back here as well. Mark Reed currently leading that group. Can be a little. And leaders will be getting into lap traffic here fairly soon. There you see Mike Mccullen falling back into the grasp of the Corvettes here as they make their way around. Let's pick up Simon Fell. He's the leader of the GTP class, and they're catching up to some of the cars that have had issues as well. These Nissan GTP cars, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 horsepower, but they are so aero heavy, just massive tunnels on the underside of these cars, that they're actually the slowest car on the racetrack. But getting out of the pits even can be tricky. Taking a look at the comments here, Riley Hart checking in saying Wes wins, calling it now. That would not surprise me at all. Wes did most of the setup development work. Seeing his memories checking in saying, don't disappoint me, Sean. Let's see if we can find Sean's paint job here, because he was going to have an interesting paint job on his car. Sean Roberts running the DuPont Rainbow Warriors color scheme. We'll get you the pretty close-up on that car from down low. And as a reminder, you can share the video out on YouTube. We're at National Racing Network. Also on Facebook at the National Racing Network. The crash you were questioning about was Mike Mccullen. He had an issue early in this one. Mike now running back in the, let's see where we can find him here. Mike's going to be towards the back. Yeah, now running in the 29th position. There's the lead train of Corvettes heading around. Currently at the head of that pack's going to be Andrew Marquez. Now you can see how dark this is getting, and this is only going to get darker. This race will absolutely finish in the dark. If you like any of the paint jobs, get a good look of them now, because there is absolutely no chance you're going to get a good look at them once the sun goes down. I think we may have seen some pit stops already, because Andrew Berry, we're seeing on our timing and scoring, currently running in the 14th position. He's one of the P1s. He's already made a stop. Now, he's stopped on lap number 1. Dale Clow. Let's get you to look at Dale's fine piece of machinery here, the Rebellion Racing entry. Dale stopped on lap number 8. And we are going to see a ton of pit stop action here. There is nobody that can go the distance in this one. Trouble on the racetrack, possibly for Jason Owens. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Yeah, he may actually already be off. Yeah, Jason already off the racing surface there. So we can see the accidents as they happen here. Nobody at the front of any of the classes thus far have made their first pit stop. Feel it is going to get pretty well spread out here, and we'll do our best to keep everybody sorted out for you. Overall race leader Benjamin Morton is about to catch a big pack of GTPs. Gets around those guys cleanly. Now he's going to catch the P2s. So we're already going to have our second class going a lap down. Get the comment here from Thomas Walker. How does that whole multi-class car thing work in terms of scoring? Everybody is just turning their own, they're running their own race, turning their own laps. Wow, that's how you slice your way through traffic. That transition from the banking to the apron at this place is really, really steep. That is not real pleasant to be on for your race leader. So everybody's basically running their own race. However, there is a points championship to this. And what's neat about it is the overall points champion is each class race winner gets a certain amount of points. Second gets second place points, third gets third place points, all the way down. However, where everything gets to be kind of interesting is if you are in the lowest number, basically if you enter the class with the smallest car count, you're going to have the best shot at winning the championship, because it's going to be easier to earn first place points every single race. So it's really a neat scoring system that Jason has put together here, and the whole TNT admin staff. So while we have a minute here, let's get the cameras queued up here, and we'll give you a chance to enjoy the sound of these prototypes and sports cars. You can go ahead and crank it up. All right, as the sun starts to set and we get ready for pit stop action here, let's get you the full field rundown. Your race leader, Benjamin Morton in the 77. A whole lot of anime work on the side of that car. Currently running in the second position, Jason Wallet. Jason, the second of the P2 cars. Seeing the other P2 cars on the pit lane, but we'll get to them here in just a moment. First of the P2s, the Happy Trails Chili Seasoning Mix entry of Alex Van de Sant. These guys are going to be fairly tough to keep in line here. But here's Nicholas Isidro, the Omega sponsored P2, number 424 on that one. Matt Houston, the Raceverse entry, our Tuesday night broadcaster. Make sure you follow them at Raceverse on all the social medias. Also, Sunset Arctic Games and Apex Sage on the side of that machine. Kevin Smalley's now worked his way up to third position in class. He's going to battle side by side with Houston. Gary Godso going to be running in the 5th position in the P2 class. Gary's been doing this sim racing stuff for a long, long time. Dating back to the iRacing, IndyCar Racing 2 days. That was one of my favorite sims ever. You can see him on the Captain's TV broadcast stream on the ICE IndyCar Series on Mondays, as well as Raceverse's broadcast stream coverage of the Reddit IndyCar League on Wednesdays. The tidbit on Gary, he was a former intern for Vice President Dan Quayle. That is fantastic. Thor Tullo, our English driver driving the Aston Martin number 46 entry. Jose Godino in the 206. Jose, one of our foreign drivers out of Porto, Portugal, the Advanced Sync and Play Host 3 Epidale Born Authorized Games class, number 206 P2. Ricky Wittenberg running just a little bit behind these guys. He's currently 9th in class. 10th is Mark Chandler in the Ally Financial entry. That's the same paint job you're going to see Jimmy Johnson and the Chip Ganassi Racing Team piloting starting tomorrow in the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Rafael Sabara rounding out the class from Hyundai Brazil. He's one of the oval racers down there on the Black Nagata Racing Team. Currently scored in 14th is Andrew Berry. He's in one of the P1s. And Andrew has made actually a couple of pit stops now, last stopping on lap number 17. Heading back into the Corvettes, there is the number 24 Black Rifle Coffee entry of Andrew Marquez, currently your class leader. The Loose Nut Racing entry out of Lyndhurst, New Jersey, won the GTE class at this year's iRacing 24 of Daytona just a week ago. Actually, a pretty neat detail coming up on another of our drivers here in just a moment. But let's pick up Mike Mccullen. He's just come around these cars after his incident, stopping on lap number 5. Mike, native of Milan, Michigan, a type 1 diabetic, started following IndyCar after seeing info about Charlie Kimball. Let's get another of the comments up on the screen here. This one again from Thomas Walker. Yeah, the scoreboard's going to sort itself based on where everybody is in the race. So if you see a name in red, that means the driver is 1 lap or more ahead of the cars that are on this lap. So in this case, we are following along with Mike Mccullen. So everybody from 13th on up is a lap ahead of him. You'll also see the car number next to the right of the driver's name. That's what class they're in. The yellow is the P1s, blue are the P2s, purple are the Corvettes, and the pink cars that you'll see will be in the GTPs. And then if you see a name in blue, that is somebody that is a lap down to the race leader here. So Benjamin Morton and Jason Wallet have lapped through the entire field is basically what that scoreboard is telling you right now. VR Wanker checking in, saying a lot of anime work. Seen his memory saying his anime Miku card dope. Yeah. Lot of anime in this one, which is not my thing, but hey. Starting to see some cars making their way down pit lane here. We'll pick up Mark Chandler and get the view on him as he heads in pit side. Already approaching the halfway point. You're going to see just about everybody heading towards the pit area. So they'll come in, no driver change in this one, but they will do tires and fuel. One of the interesting things is that these are done as according to the real world rules, where basically you can't fuel the car and take tires at the same time, depending on the class. So some of these pit stops are definitely going to take a while here. Pick up your overall leader, and let's get you the pit stop data here on your top 10. Nobody has as of yet made a pit stop within the top 10. That includes your P1s and your P2s. Here's the stop strategy on the Corvettes. They have not stopped either. If you don't make it to 25 minutes, you're not going to make it on one stop. So it'll be kind of interesting to see who's electing to stop when. Same story for the GTP cars, excuse me. I'll get it right eventually. Surprisingly clean race to this point. Do have a little bit of action on the racetrack. Let's pull it up for you here. Trouble for Will Walker on the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. Oh, he got a ton of help. Couple cars going around, and carnage is going to ensue. Get the replay from Chad Irvine's look here. Yeah, he basically, actually here, let's get you the cockpit cam on Chad. You can see what he saw coming here. Yeah, almost no time to react. So 3 cars, Chad Irvine, William Walker, Dale Clow, all heading pit side. Still Benjamin Morton at the front of the field. In fact, a 20-second lead over Jason Wallet. We're at 24 and a half minutes. If the strategy was lay back, this one might be over already. It's going to be kind of hard to think that one, but yeah, race. Wait till the end of this one. Let's pull up the comment from Cena here. Race cars can fly. Yes, they can. Just wait till the end of this thing. One of the Traditional things is the demolition derby and donut party on the front stretch. Yeah, that's fantastic. We got cars coming straight towards us and absolutely no lights on anybody. Going to make things very, very difficult as we go along here. Pick up your class leader in the P2 category, Nicholas Isidro, out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's been on iRacing since 2012. First sim was the original NASCAR Heat for PS1, so you're going back a ways there, brother. He has done some real-world racing at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway down there in Virginia. Keeping an eye still on Nicholas Isidro, our class leader here. Now picking up second place, Alex Van de Sant. He's running about a second and a half back, but now we're starting to see cars come to pit lane. There's Isidro, your race leader. Also, Matt Houston making his way down the pit area. Jose Gadino and Thor Tullo also pit side. So, seeing our first round of stops, the question from Thomas Walker asking if they crash, do they get to keep going? I don't think they have a fast repair. iRacing does give you an option to basically put a fast repair in. Oh, and he missed his pit stall. That's never a good happening. Definitely going to slow up your in-lap on that one. Yeah, so basically, if they come into the pits, it is a very iffy question on if they're going to be able to come back out. If they don't have a fast repair and the damage isn't too great, there is a kind of a damage clock that will run. If you end up upside down or someplace that you can't drive the car back to the pits, you take the reset and basically it starts a clock as though you're hooked to a tow truck, and it's going to the whole time to get the tow truck down to you. Second round of pit stops starting for the P2s. Alex Van de Sant, Gary Godso, Ricky Wittenberg all coming in. What's going to be interesting here is taking a look here. We're going to pick up Andrew Berry in the 19, the Porsche Action Sim Sport entry. He stopped on lap number 17. That may be enough to get him to the end. We'll see how that's going to work out timelines-wise. Only issue at this point is Berry and Mccullen are both a lap down to the race leader. We're going to take a look and see here. Chris Kresge is out of the race. He is no longer on the speedway. Mark Chandler, Sean Roberts are the only cars being scored out of the race. Yeah, Will Walker is actually, he's still on the racetrack. Currently being scored 31st overall and 13th in the P2 class. Here comes your race leader down pit lane, making his first pit stop of the event. Also, Jason Wallet on pit road as well. If you've picked up any damage and iRacing says you have to repair it, that's going to add time to your pit stops. We'll see if Wallet's going to be able to come out and assume the race lead. Wallet exiting out of the front pits. Morton sitting pit side. And we'll be able to show you the pit stop time on these cars. Just as soon as Morton comes out of the pits, he finishes his service. That car is down and away. There's your pit stop times. Morton, 22.1 seconds. Wallet, 24.9. So a just about 3-second loss on pit lane. Berry, the 128.4 that you see on his screen, that was from the initial crash damage. It was a 128-second pit stop. 11.9 for stop number 2. Take a look here. Down now to the Corvettes. Let's pick up position number 12 here. No pit stops yet for the Corvettes. I don't think there's any way that they can make it all the way. I wouldn't think so. There's no way these cars are going 50 minutes on a tank of fuel. Tires are going to be incredibly optional on this one. The other thing to keep in mind here is, as you're watching this multi-class racing, each of the first place finishers is going to receive the same payout. I think it's $20 is the payout for tonight, but it's $1,000 for your points championship, which is a ton of money, especially for a, we'll say a fun series. Now 32 minutes in, just 18 minutes remaining in our night of sports cars here at the iRacing SuperSpeedway. I want to remind everybody, if you're watching on Facebook, you can send stars our way. We appreciate everybody who's done that this evening. You can also support the National Racing Network on Patreon, patreon.com/National Racing Network. Just a couple of bucks a month helps us get these broadcasts on the air. All the commercials you saw at the beginning of the show those are thank yous to our real world broadcast partners. We kick off our season here in April at Lanco's Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway, and hope to have a couple other racetracks that we can announce here real shortly as well, and possibly even a touring series or two. But yeah, we do a ton of real world broadcasting all throughout the year. And once it gets a little cold to run here in the Northeast, the iRacing action picks up, and we are having a ton of fun with that. Still at the front of the field, Benjamin Morton. I don't know if it was a ton of practice laps or what. The strategy call has been brilliant to this point, showing a lead of 36 seconds and growing over Jason Wallet. In fact, he's going to be close to putting Wallet a lap down here. He's only about 10 seconds behind him. There's Wallet, your second place running car. Like Mccullen runs third. Mccullen back on the lead lap, but he's 50 seconds back, so he'll be going a lap down once again here real shortly. Here's first place in the P2s, Nicholas Isidro, with a 3.5-second lead over Gary Godso. Matt Houston runs third in class. Well, now he's going to be fighting with Gary Godso. There's Godso to the inside, Houston to the outside. This is going to be a pretty good battle here in the P2s. Even something small like your in lap or your out lap, getting in or out of the pits, can be just huge in terms of opening a gap up. P2's putting one more lap on the board. Head back and pick up the Corvettes. They're running single file, and there are 6 cars all running nose to tail. Get you a look there at your class leader, Andrew Marquez. That's the Black Rifle Coffee, number 24. Tony Estrada, Brian Bedard, Max Garbus following them up. Get you a look here at Max. We haven't talked a whole lot about him. The Sprinkle Donut entry out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Does autocross, and he actually runs an MX-5 at Sebring with one of the car clubs down there. The MX-5s put on a fantastic race yesterday at Daytona. I didn't get to see today's yet. Apparently, Max hasn't cut his hair since the pandemic started, but he also made mention here that his brother-in-law Grant makes up the worst pit crew ever of epic proportions. So, Grant, thank you very much, or thank you very little for your hard labor there on Max Garbus's machinery. Now picking up our GTP entries, there's Simon Fell. He's your race leader. Don't have any additional info on Simon other than the fact that he's running at the front of the field. Robert Gamble out of Anchorage, Alaska, running in second place, just a couple of tenths back of your race leader. Used to have a sled dog team, and he runs dog agility competitions with their Australian Shepherds. That is so cool. That's a fun one. Running the Nissan branding on the Nissan GTP. That car made famous by Jeff Brabham back in the 80s. Andrew Acera, a regular with he's actually an admin with the Wide Open Wednesday series that we do every week here, but also a weekly competitor at Snydersville Raceway, running the Animal House Deathmobile. That paint job is fantastic. Hopefully somebody gets a little bit of spotlight on him. We can show you that one in just a little bit. Also get you a peek at Jason Owens. He's the fearless leader of this TNT group. So a couple of comments looking for Wes Schreier. Wes is running an old Dyson paint scheme. Unofficially sponsored by Homestead Coffee Roasters. We know some folks there with Homestead. We'll have to see if we can maybe turn that one into an official sponsorship. Wes, one of the few regular silver drivers. There's about 10 of them that run the series week in and week out. But we were talking about this a little bit earlier. He made the top 10 cleanest drivers in the 2021 iRacing Daytona 24. Multi-hours worth of stints for Wes with 0 incidents. Did not put a wheel wrong. Nobody ran him over. And the team finished very well. Tough break for Andrew Berry, seeing him checking in, saying on our Discord server here that his internet died and he's going to be out of the race. So there's our first P1 retirement of the evening. Pick up the Corvettes here because they're going to be a lot of fun to watch here over the next handful of laps. And let's do this. We'll get the announcer guy to be quiet for a minute here and let you enjoy the sound of these engines. You can go ahead and crank it up. we're going to pick things back up here because second round of pit stops coming for the Corvettes, led by Andrew Marquez. Brian Bedard going to take over as the race leader inside of 10 minutes remaining here. In fact, just about down to 8 minutes. Oh, and Marquez overshoots his pit. He gets it backed up. The crew will go to work on that one. Tony Estrada, Max Garbus also in the pits. Marquez on his way out. I would assume a short fill on this one. Little splash of fuel to make it to the end. Garbus also on his way out. Estrada not moving yet out of the pit lane. What a tough break for Anthony Estrada. Obviously with some damage to fix on that machine. This time by Brian Bedard. Gary DeMoss also heading into the pits. Dakota DeMagid remaining on the racetrack. We'll see here. Here's your race leader, Benjamin Morton, with an almost one lap advantage over the entire field, which is just kind of unreal. There's Jason Willott running in second. Mike McCullen able to hold on to the third position, but he's a lap back of the race leaders. Now your leader in the P2 class, Nicholas Isidro. He's holding on to a pretty sizable gap as well over Matt Houston. That lead is 3.5 seconds over Houston, leading this pile of P2s into turns 1 and 2. P2's 2 and 3 wide. Off of turn number 2, if that looks like. No, off of turn 4, sorry. They're heading down the front stretch now. Here's your race leader in the GTPs, still Simon Fell. Robert Gamble all over his back bumper. One of the things about the GTPs is you can't bump draft these cars or anything. And the reason is they're basically a giant wedge. So if you get up under the back of the car in front of you, you're gonna lift them up and turn them around. Surprised at the overall lack of carnage in this one. There's Wes Shire and Andrew Acera. Acera running behind Shire on the racetrack, but ahead of him in the timing and scoring table. Tight up on the bumper. We'll see if Acera is able to pull out and use the draft from the cars in front of him to get around Shire. Oh, man, big wiggle there. A little bit of a look there at the Deathmobile colors on Acera. Now 46 minutes in the books. 40 seconds or so shy of 5 minutes remaining. There's your race leader, Benjamin Morton. we'll show you the top 10 here and get you the stint length on these cars. It shows you how quick the P1s are, the fact that they're able to make multiple pit stops and still unlap themselves here. One thing about the P1s is that they do have the ability to go on electric power, and how you use that electric power can be really important, especially if you can regenerate energy by dragging the brakes while you're kind of towing behind another car. You can use that car in front of you to help punch a hole through the air, tow you along, and drag the brake just a little bit to recharge those batteries. Trouble for Kevin Smalley. Let's get you a Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Oh, a little bit of net code there, I think. Smalley goes for a big ride on that one. You see him slide down to the inside of the racetrack. He'll come back up, rejoin the field. What an absolute clinic Benjamin Morton has put on this evening. There's a second place running Jason Willott, the Thrustmaster Porsche Hybrid. That's what the HY above the Porsche on the shark fin you see there. That's what that denotes, that these cars do have hybrid power available to them. And that kind of dates to the P1 days of you could run, the original P1 class was incredible. You could run diesel power, gasoline, all electric. It was almost a free-for-all, and they quickly found out that diesel-powered hybrids were kind of the way to go. They used the electric motors on corner exit to help propel the car out of the corner, and easily upwards of 1,400 or 1,500 horsepower on corner exit. And then they would get off the button, regenerate the power under braking, and then get back to it. Like we mentioned, on the exit of the corner. Just about 10 minutes remaining. Still Nicholas Isidro as your class leader in the P2s, and he has a 4.5-second advantage over Alex Van de Sant. Van de Sant and Matt Houston going to duel side by side. There you see that's Hornet's Nest of P2s coming around one of the Corvettes to the inside. This is going to be the battle for second in class and sixth overall as they come around the GTP. Big move to the outside. That's going to move Van de Sant back up into second in class, almost making contact on corner entry. Isidro's gonna have the help, or excuse me, Van de Sant from Jose Godino. And there you go. Checkered flag gonna fly on this one. 50 minutes goes by very, very quickly. There's your race winner. Benjamin Morton. Picking up the overall win. The TNT Night of Sports Cars. Coming across the line, Nicholas Isidro in the 424, picking up the win in the Dallara P2. And now you're pretty much going to see everybody piling in to the attenuator at the end of pit lane. Jason Willott second in the P2s. We'll see if we can't get you a look at him as he comes flying around. There's the carnage we thought we might have seen at the start here. Let's get your race winner. He's out doing the victory donuts. Brian Bedard picks up the win in the Corvette class. And parked out here on the racetrack, Robert Gamble gets the win in the GTP class. Let's see if we can't get some of our drivers here into the interview room. Let's do this. Let's get you the replays here. We're going to replay checkered flags. There's your race winner, Benjamin Morton, blinking the lights across the line. Yeah, that is a very happy race car driver there. Pull it back up here and get Nicholas Isidro also off of turn 4, blinking the lights, waving to the crew on the inside of the racetrack. Brian Bedard getting the win in the Corvette. And we'll show you Robert Gamble. Here's the move down the back straightaway. Simon Fell was the race leader on the white flag lap. There's the big move off of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Drag race to the line. What a finishing class. That was incredibly tight in the GTPs. So let's bring you back here. Let's get you results from our overall winner, Benjamin Morton, picking up the winning class by 47 seconds over Jason Willott. The P2s belong to Nicholas Isidro by 3.8 seconds over Alex Van de Sant. The Corvettes came home in that one, again, a walk away. Excuse me, the third class was the Nissan GTPs, 2/100ths of a second. What a finish, what a run for Robert Gamble. You know, he was sitting on that one for a while. And Brian Bedard picks up the win in the Corvette class. So let's see if we can't get our race winners here into our broadcast waiting room. Let's pull them up here. I think we got a copy on him. Mr. Rob Gamble, what a finish in the GTP class. You sat there for 50 minutes plotting that, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Simon and I were playing a game of who can go slower, and I did not want to be in front of him, and he did not want to be in the lead. So yes, that was definitely one of those cat and mouse games.
That was fantastic. What was it like driving a GTP car that you know is so overpowered for this thing, but the downforce just has you guys so slow that I don't think a GTP has ever been in that situation before.
Oh yeah, I know, right? It was interesting. I mean, we're definitely the slowest car, but it was fun. The start, I was hoping, because there are only 6 of us, so I was hoping we'd stay together. But we got intermixed with the Corvettes, and there was some chaos in lap 1. So there was only a few of us that managed to get through that.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see things go from light to dark, and it seemed like everybody was significantly more aggressive in the light, which was, that was kind of interesting. I don't want to say unexpected, but did that change your thought process at all, the darker it got and having to really keep an eye on the headlights behind you?
Well, just the LMP cars being so close and so tight that it was okay until you saw a big pack of them coming, and then it was like, hold on, because it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, well, hey, Rob, that was a ton of fun, especially to pull back the replay on that one and to call the race tonight. Who do you got to thank? You have any sponsors you want to mention?
No, just my wife for putting up with me doing this craziness all the time.
Oh, that's fantastic. Got to keep the spouses happy. So, all right, Rob, well, congratulations. You're picking up first place points and a very, very good start towards a season-long championship here.
Yeah, actually, I'm 2 for 2 now. So I won the PM18 on the inaugural one, too. So.
Yep. Yeah, so there you go, buddy. Congratulations on that one. Let's get you moved out of here, and let's pick up our P2 class winner here. Nicholas Isidro. Nicholas, the win says 3.8 seconds, and at no point did I think we were going to see a P2 runaway like that, maybe in the P1s. How are you able to get so far ahead of everybody?
So I think during the first stint, we passed the GTE cars. I somehow got separated from everyone else, and it just broke the draft, and just managed to keep them away.
Yeah, it almost seemed like you were able to run your own race, and they were more content to fight with each other and play in the draft. And in the NASCAR world, you might see that big pack suck everybody in, but with so many different classes of cars, you could never really get the run, I guess.
Yeah, with these cars, there's a much less of a difference between a car running on its own in a pack than it is in like stock cars. So you can just drive away if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and this is a big win for you, because with 15 cars in the class, you're going to pick up the big points haul here, and some of the names that we have towards the bottom of this thing, I don't want to say they're out of the running for an overall championship, but they're going to have to play some games if they want to try to catch you for an overall. We basically have a 4-way tie for first right now.
Yeah, that's how. But it's going to be a long season. Very different types of races that we're going to have to go through. But yeah, it's got a good start right now.
Yeah, that was it was a ton of fun to watch tonight. And is there anybody you want to thank?
Not really. Just
All
no
right,
sponsors or anything.
All right, Nicholas. Nick, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next month.
All right, thanks.
So there you go. There's 2 of our class winners. Waiting to see if we have anybody else here. Trying to take a look. We have, let's see. Yeah, we have our Corvette race winner as well here. Let's see if we can get Brian Bedard in here. We'll pull up the class results on this one. So, yeah, Brian, you had a heck of a run tonight, and similar to what we saw in some of the other classes, especially the P2s, how were you able to break away and win this thing by basically 3 seconds?
I would have to say it came up through the pit stops. You know, I think some fellow drivers in my class mistakenly changed some tires on accident. But regardless, we got lucky. I was able to take advantage of the break and ended up where I was.
Yeah, that's always a beneficial thing, and it's sort of like the guy who forgets to take the qualifying setup off the car before you go into the race. You got to make sure you're not changing tires at a place like this. What was the car like out there? I mean, the Corvettes looked like they were almost on rails tonight.
It was nail biting. Hands were a little sweaty for sure. Just trying to stay off the bump drafting a little bit from P3 on backward. That's where I sat majority of the race, trying to conserve fuel as much as possible. And again, it was great fun. Would love to do it again.
All right, Brian. Well, congratulations, and anybody you want to thank?
Jason Owens in the Discord here for putting this all together, and of course you guys for broadcasting. We greatly appreciate your time, and look forward to hopefully having you guys back for the next special event we got.
Yeah, that one's going to be a blast for sure. Congratulations again, Brian. Let's pick up our host extraordinaire here, Mr. Jason Owens. Jason, we didn't see the carnage at the start that I thought we were going to see, but that also made for some pretty good racing here and some insane strategy calls.
Yeah, I'd have to say, obviously for my race, I caught a bump draft just wrong on like the third lap and got a meatball. And so I was playing catch up the rest of the race, but I managed to finish in front of all the GTPs, which is fun. But I think overall, I'm super happy with how clean the racing was overall. I was in the lead, obviously a couple laps down, but I was in the lead Corvette pack once when the P2s came through. And it was super interesting to me to see how the P2s and Corvettes had pretty similar speeds through the corners. And so it was just like this mass of cars moving through the corners when those two got together. But overall, super happy with how the race turned out. I hope it looked as good on the broadcast as it did from the cockpit.
Yeah, this one was a ton of fun tonight, and I know you had the your stream up as well. I'm looking forward to hear some of the in-sim chat that we don't play for various reasons, including we don't want to offend the FCC at all. This series is going to be absolutely ridiculous. We come back next month with the Baldwin Agraland Stock Car Extravaganza, basically with all the stock cars. Then we're going to do something insane in March. Vintage cars. I mean, it seems like the theme for this is multi-class cars on racetracks that they don't typically belong at or are going to cause problems for people.
Yeah, totally. So it's like I get that a lot of people love the fact that this is a simulation, and for those of us who can't afford to be real race car drivers or don't have the talent, like iRacing is great, right? But what is the point of having all of these phenomenal cars and tracks and other drivers around you if you can't do stuff you couldn't do in real life, right? So we're going to go out this year. We've got 12 absolutely insane races. I think the highlight of the year may very well be the Merry Christmas in March, where we are going to do a roller derby potentially on the dirt at Bristol if that gets released.
Yes,
but
I cannot wait for March. The insanity of trying to call roller derby is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And
good luck.
We're doing it with cars. That's the best part of this thing. Is it's so insane that this is actually going to be kind of comical to watch and put on the broadcast for. So I know you're working on some sponsors for this thing as well. That's why I wanted to bring you in here. Is there anybody you would like to thank for helping put this thing on tonight?
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank all the drivers for coming out. Like, it would be easy for everybody to come out and get the elbows out and push and shove and just figure, it's virtual. We're just gonna, shove people through the turns and not be clean. But I've got to say, like, for what did we end up going 60 laps for the leader and 50 plus down the field. It was a lot of really clean racing. So first thing I want to do is thank all the drivers for coming out and everybody. I mean, we got 35, 40 guys out here that see value in coming out and doing this absolutely insane stuff all year long. So drivers first. Second off, I want to thank you for having the prescient foresight to actually think that this could draw some numbers on the broadcast, right? Like, I think it will. I think it'll do great, and people are going to love checking this out every month. And then, if anybody's looking for um, something to sponsor, we're always looking for a title sponsor for the series. So, somebody wants to come out and be a title sponsor. The banner is empty right now, and you're more than welcome to come on board. So,
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, considering we had drivers from sea to shining sea in this great country, including middle of nowhere, Indiana, how about drivers from Mexico, Brazil, and Portugal getting involved in this? I know this is not a fun time of the night for them to be driving if you're over in Europe.
No, definitely not. I think it's, like when you look at this, like this is stuff that is absolutely nuts. And we're all out here for the fun of it, right? And even if you were in a position in life that you could go out and afford to own your own P2 car or afford to own a classic GTP ZX, or heaven forbid you're one of the 3 people that could own a C8R after they retire after this year. And like, right, because they built 3 chassis. You're never going to have the opportunity to run this multi-class at, let alone a track that doesn't even exist. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and I love the fact that we've got a bunch of drivers out here signing up to come out and do this.
It's a ton of fun. It's beer league softball for nerds.
Right? Actually, that's probably the best description I've ever heard of this. Like, it literally is beer league softball for racing nerds.
Yes, and we are very, very happy to be a part of it. So can't wait for February. All the stock cars, make sure we get the pancake mods in there too. Are we going to run that one here at iRacing, or are we going to do that one at Daytona?
Oh, no, we're not going to Daytona. We're taking that right here on the High Banks iRacing Superspeedway. 5 stock car classes, everything from the street stocks all the way up to the cup cars. So I'm pretty sure we're going to run street stocks, ARCA. What are we calling them now? Gander trucks. I'm old school. I still
Whatever
call
they
them
are.
Craftsman
Yeah,
trucks.
Craftsman trucks. Yeah.
Xfinity and Cup, and we're gonna have five classes out here on the High Banks iRacing Superspeedway. And I don't know if you've ever run a Cup car here. They hit like 250, 251 in the draft.
Yes.
The stock cars top out at like 153 miles an hour. So we're gonna have 100-mile-an-hour differential
Yes.
between the fastest class and the slowest class. It is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's appointment television. So
Yes,
it's going to be fun.
Yes. Forrest Lucas, if you're watching, well, why?
Yeah, first off, why? But second off,
this needs to be on MAV TV in the month of February because, yeah. Anyway, all right, Jason. Well, thank you very much for having us, and we can't wait for February.
Not a problem. Thanks again for being our broadcast partner. We're hoping to drive some good numbers for you all year long. And again, just thanks for being here for us.
Yeah, this one's going to be fun. So thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. And that's going to wrap up our coverage from the very, very dark iRacing Superspeedway. Coming up on the National Racing Network Wednesday night, the iRacing doubleheader featuring the Quarter Midget iRacing Club, as well as the Wide Open Wednesday Series. Going to be 305 sprint cars for the Quarter Midget kids and 410s at Knoxville, I believe, is the Wide Open Wednesday. So we're going to get out of the big blocks and head back to the sprint cars. Thursday night, the High Side Hustle returns to NRN this week as well. So for everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It has been a pleasure to have you joining us. Congratulations once again to Benjamin Morton, overall winner of the Night of Sportscars here for the TNT Massive Series. We can't wait to be back here again. We will talk to you soon, everybody. Have a great night.